When we think of a space race, we usually picture these giant superpowers, national flags planted on the moon. But the biggest rivalry in space today, it has nothing to do with that. It's actually a clash of corporate titans, each with a totally different vision for our future in orbit.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Context Minute. Today we're going to break down the incredible strategies of the two private companies that are really defining this whole new era in space, SpaceX and Rocket Lab. For decades, it was all about the US versus the Soviet Union, right? A battle of ideologies playing out way up there, hundreds of miles above the Earth. But that era, it's pretty much over.
Okay, let's get into this. This new competition is all about private enterprise. It's driven by these audacious founders and, let's be honest, the bottom line. It's a race to build the actual infrastructure for a real, bustling economy in low Earth orbit and, maybe, even beyond.
So, first up, you have the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, SpaceX. Founded by Elon Musk way back in 2002, they came onto the scene with a goal that sounded, almost unbelievable at the time.
And that's it. That's the mission. Simple, but massive. Every single decision they've ever made comes back to this. It's not just about launching a few satellites. It's about building a highway to Mars. And to pull that off, they had to solve the biggest, most expensive problem in rocketry, the cost.
Their solution was, and I'm not exaggerating here, completely revolutionary. Before SpaceX, every rocket was used exactly once, and then just thrown away. I mean, can you imagine junking a Boeing 747 after just one flight? It's crazy. SpaceX came in and just completely changed the game by figuring out how to make them reusable.
And this, right here, the Falcon 9, is the engine of their dominance. By figuring out how to land and refly that first stage booster, SpaceX absolutely slashed the cost of getting to orbit. This meant they could launch way more often, way more cheaply, and more reliably than anyone else in history. Period.
And the results? Well, they really speak for themselves. They have captured a staggering 80% of the commercial launch market. Think about that. They're not just a player in the industry. For a lot of people, they are the industry.
All that market dominance has turned into a truly colossal valuation. We're talking about a private company valued at 800 times billion dollars. So the big question is, how did they pull it off?
Because launching rockets for others is only part of the story. The real financial engine is something they built for themselves.
It's honestly a genius strategy. They use their own cheap Falcon 9 rockets to launch thousands of their own Starlink internet satellites into orbit. The money they make from all those Starlink subscriptions then goes right back into funding the development of even bigger rockets, like Starship. It's this incredible, self-sustaining, closed-loop machine that's just designed for ridiculously fast expansion.
But there's another company out there with a totally different playbook. Founded in 2006 by Peter Beck, Rocket Lab isn't trying to build an empire on Mars. Nope. They're trying to build the hardware store for everybody else who's heading to space.
So, Rocket Lab first made its name with this little rocket, the Electron. It was small, it was nimble, and it was perfectly designed for the booming small satellite market. While SpaceX was busy launching these huge payloads, Rocket Lab offered a dedicated, super reliable taxi service for smaller customers who didn't want to have to ride-share.
And just like with SpaceX, if you think they're just another rocket company, you are absolutely missing the bigger picture.
Okay, check this out. When you look at where Rocket Lab's money actually comes from, it's pretty revealing. A huge 73.6% of their revenue comes from something called space systems. Launch is only about a quarter of their business. So what does that actually mean?
It means they're going after this merchant supplier model. They are building and selling all the essential parts that other companies need to get their own missions off the ground. Things like reaction wheels, star trackers, solar panels, even the entire body of a satellite. They're basically becoming the ultimate one-stop shop for the entire space economy.
But now, these two very different strategies are about to collide head-on. Rocket Lab isn't just sticking to small rockets anymore. Oh no, they're building a direct competitor to the Falcon 9.
So let's see how they stack up. The Falcon 9 is definitely taller. It can carry a way heavier payload, and it's been flying reliably since 2010. It's the veteran. But Rocket Lab's Neutron, which we're expecting in mid-2026, is also reusable, and it's targeting the absolute sweet spot of the market, those medium-lift payloads. It's designed to be a cost-effective workhorse, a direct challenge to SpaceX's bread and butter.
So this brings us to the fundamental difference between these two giants. It's really about two competing blueprints for how you build an entire industry from the ground up.
Think about it this way. SpaceX is building a totally vertically integrated system to serve its own massive ambitions. It's a closed ecosystem, like a private railroad just for their trains. Rocket Lab, on the other hand, is building a vertically integrated system to serve everyone else's ambitions. It's an open ecosystem. And the really fascinating thing is, the growing space economy probably needs both.
And this sets up an absolutely incredible showdown for the future of space, with enormous financial and strategic stakes on the line.
And let's be crystal clear, the challenge here is immense. As this quote from Kari Bingen points out, trying to compete with a giant like SpaceX, which has had such a massive head start, well, that's an incredible uphill battle.
So, as we look to the future, that's really the question we're left with, isn't it? Will the next chapter in space be defined by a single dominant empire builder, or will it be defined by the company that successfully supplies the tools for 1,000 different ventures to all flourish at once?
Only time will tell which of these blueprints is going to win out. But whatever the answer is, it's going to shape humanity's journey to the stars for decades to come. Thanks so much for joining the Context Minute.